What's up guys, Kyle here again, and today we're gonna check out my new guitar. The Schecter Sun Valley Shredder. Alright guys, hope everybody out there is doing great. You guys had a great holiday. This will be the first video that I'm filming in a few days, so I wanted to highlight this guitar because I actually have not owned a guitar with a Floyd in a few years. I've been grabbing a bunch of Schecter guitars lately because I've always liked their stuff, but the quality was kind of hit or miss. With the last few that I've bought, all of them have just been excellent. No complaints on any of them. The setups are great. The features for the money are great. The designs, I think, have stepped up a lot. A lot of their older guitars are pretty gaudy and kind of like bro-y looking. The new ones are just awesome. The SLS Elite that I have is awesome. You guys have seen my Reaper 6 and probably like 6 or 7 of my last playthrough videos because I just don't want to put it down. Traditionally, I'm a Gibson guy, but I have always liked the LTD, the Schecter stuff, some of the Jackson stuff, and recently I've kind of been into the Strat, Super Strat body, but I've picked up a bunch of stuff with like hip shot bridges or just, hardtail bridges with tom bridges that, it's kind of similar to what I already have. So I'm like, I need something with a Floyd. I have not owned anything with a Floyd in a couple years. Every time I pick something up with a Floyd, I sell it immediately. I've just never quite gotten along with them, but recently with the hip shot bridges, I've kind of gotten a feel for how guitars with a flatter bridge feel as opposed to the tom that's all raised up. And I've really started to enjoy it, and I'm like, all right, time to get something with a Floyd. We're gonna try this again. So I bought this guitar used online. I found it on eBay and ended up going to the store that had it directly so I could avoid the whole, eBay fees and taxes and stuff like that. Ended up getting it for a really good price shipped. Showed up today, I plugged it in to make sure everything works, but this thing really needs a setup. The neck is really bowed. We'll see if we can get in here, and maybe I'll get some close-up shots, but you can tell that the frets are all kind of not quite corroded, but they've seen some weather. The fretboard is real dirty. There's some gunk on the bridge here that needs to be cleaned up. And overall, the action just needs to kind of be brought down. The guitar needs a little TLC. The strings are older than dirt, and they're covered in dirt. So this thing basically just needs a nice glow up, So we're gonna give this thing some TLC, and then we'll plug it in and see how she plays and sounds. Alright guys, so now I have the guitar all set up. I've had a few days to mess with it. This was my first time actually setting up a Floyd Rose by myself, completely restringing it. Like I said, the other ones that I bought used. I bought them at a good price so I could turn them around, so I never messed with them much. I just knew I didn't like them. I kind of went at this without looking up how to do it just to see if I could, and honestly I fairly quickly I got all the string tensions balanced out nicely. The bridge is nice and even. When I got the guitar in, the neck was very bowed, the strings were dirty, the frets were dirty, the fretboard was all dried out, and the bridge was super high. Now I did not buy this guitar new. Like I said, I bought it used, so you guys may not like the fact that I'm doing a review on a used instrument because it could have possibly been, some of the issues could have been worked out before. But when I got it, it was not in good shape. So I really don't think that that's the case with this one. I think whoever bought it, didn't know really what they were doing and sold it after neglecting it for a while. So now I got it. It's set up. I've had a few days to mess with it. Hi, what you doing, buddy? You want in on the video? Are you gonna shred? So anyways, I got this thing set up to my liking. I've been playing it for roughly a week now. It's been a while since I shot the original footage of me changing everything out and getting the guitar. It's had a while to settle in, so we'll go over some of the features on this thing. It is a 25.5-inch scale super shredder type guitar. I really like the modified Strat aesthetic, and honestly I've wanted one for a few years, but the Floyd Roses kind of always kept me away until I finally figured, you know what, I'm just gonna go for it. This one has a rosewood fretboard. It's got a mahogany body with a maple neck, so I'm pretty familiar with that wood combination and felt comfortable getting it. I don't really have much experience with alder-bodied guitars, so I kind of tried to find something that wasn't like that, and this being a Schecter and the recent Schecters I've gotten being really of a higher caliber than a lot of their old stuff, I felt comfortable taking a chance on it. It's got the Floyd Rose Special bridge on it. I cannot offer any sort of insight on how that compares to any of the other ones because I am not a Floyd Rose guy. Truthfully, I wish I could, but I just don't have a lot of experience with them. I expected this guitar to not stay in tune all that well because that was my experience with the other Floyd guitars that I had, but I think a lot of that tuning is in the setup. And really what I hadn't kind of figured out in my brain is that I know that most tuning problems are at the nut on any guitar. So you're essentially, with the locking nut, you're taking that out of the equation. The string is locked in that position, and the fine tuners on the saddles really allow you to dial it in. And man, I have been having less tuning issues with a floating bridge Floyd Rose guitar than I have with pretty much any of the guitars I've been playing lately. So that's been awesome. That's been a huge surprise to me. It makes sense now that I think about it, but it's been a huge relief. The switch, very nice and solid feeling. It's got a very solid click. It doesn't feel cheap. It doesn't feel like it slides in and out of position too easily. So if you bump it, more than likely it'll stay where it is unless you really hit it with some meaning behind it. Me personally, I really like the fact that this is a volume for the bridge and a volume for the neck, because I don't use my tone knobs. I'm a thrash guy, I'm a metal and a hardcore guy, so the tone knob is balls out all the time. Sometimes I even take the tone knob out of the circuit in the guitar, depending on how dark it is, if I want a little bit more high-end presence to it. That kind of works in my favor. A lot of you guys who tend to, manipulate your sound a lot with the tone and volume knobs may not like that, and I totally get that. But for those of us who kind of like to have the tone on 10 all the time and just go, it's a nice feature because you don't ever have to worry about your tone being turned down. And it's also nice for guys like me who only use, a bridge pickup, Scott Ian style. I can just use this as a kill switch. All I got to do is turn the neck volume all the way down and flip it up, and boom, no volume, which works really nice on stage when you're trying to cut out and be completely silent. Or when I'm talking to a video and I'm on a high gain amp and, I'm not bumping strings and stuff like that. So that is a nice feature. The EMG retroactive pickups, I am not a fan of EMGs. I've mentioned this multiple times on this channel. I know that they have their uses. I know that they're a classic. I know that they have a lot of fans, and that's fine. That's totally fine. I get it. When I hear them, when certain other people use them, I like them. But for me, they're just too compressed, too congested, no dynamics. I don't tend to like really high output pickups in general. So I'm just not really that big of a fan of active pickups. So this has the Retro 70, EMG Hot Retro 70 in the bridge. Dude, I love how this pickup and how this guitar sounds. I fully expected to change the pickups out because I just don't like active pickups. I mean, the Fishmans are the first ones that I've ever really kind of enjoyed. And anything with EMG, I've tried the 5766, I've tried the X series, I've tried a bunch of them, the headset, and just none of them did it for me, man. They all had the same kind of compression going on that I didn't like. Even with the 18-volt mod, wasn't a huge fan. So anyways, I'm really enjoying this pickup. It's definitely not as high output as a regular EMG, which I love because I love to be able to... I like the amp to do the heavy lifting as far as saturation and stuff like that. I find it's clearer when the amp is not being pushed by a super high output pickup. Especially with high gain amps, it leaves you more room in the gain to adjust it and fine tune it to where you want it. And generally, you tend to get a little bit of a clearer sound out of lower output pickups. And obviously, the dynamics are there. So, really liking the sound of these pickups. I don't even really know what to compare them to be honest. I just know that me, as somebody who likes hot rodded PAF style pickups for the most part, and on the modern side, I like Duncan Full Shreds and Duncan Omegas. This pickup works for me. It will not be changed. I will absolutely use it. So the neck pickup, I wish I could give you guys some more insight on that, but again, I'm not really a clean player. I'm not a solo guy. I'm your average run-of-the-mill shitty thrash guy. I'm completely okay with that for the time being, but for this situation, I kind of feel bad because I can't give you guys an honest review of the neck pickup. So we're gonna play this real quick through the Mesa Badlander 50 and give you guys a sample of how this thing sounds. Uh-oh. We got a problem with the neck pickup, ladies and gentlemen. It was not doing this a couple days ago the last time I played it. The neck pickup had full volume. Something happened with this thing. Alright, so I guess we're not going to hear the neck pickup because there's an issue with it. I did not touch any of the internal components on this guitar. So I have no idea what could have happened that the neck pickup is no longer working correctly, so that's not great. It was absolutely working when I got the guitar and a few days ago when I was messing around with it, so not sure what happened there. Alright guys, we're now on the crush mode of the Badlander 50. I have no boosts on, just a noise gate out front. Not bad. Definitely still has a little bit of that active pickup quality to it, a little bit of almost congestion in the mid. But there's a lot more string and note separation going on these for sure, and it's a lot less hot. As you can see, there are definitely still some dynamics in there. If you lay off the strings, it pulls the aggression back, pulls the output back for sure. It's a lot more like a passive, not so compressed, so you can actually get away with a little bit of dynamics, but it's still not super dynamic. You guys know what time it is. Let's boost it with the Grid Slammer. Alright guys, so after a couple deep dives, the Floyd is still pretty much in tune. It seems like maybe the top string came out a little bit, but honestly not bad. I pulled it all the way down. So yeah, I've definitely had worse experiences where you do one bend on a Floyd and the whole thing is out of whack and you're screwed. So not bad. Fret edges, good, not great. They definitely poke out a little bit, but they're not sharp. They've been rounded, and that could really just be a product of the wood drying. I mean, most of these mass-produced guitars, they pump them out the door and the wood's not fully dry, so you gotta kind of expect that. But yeah, pickups are awesome. I have no problem with this Floyd Rose. Maverick obviously approves of it. What, you wanna go outside? You wanna go outside, go potty? I am fully happy with this guitar. If you guys would like to see me do more guitar reviews and demos, let me know. I am not a super tech nerd when it comes to guitars like I am with amps. I do enjoy them, but I'm not super picky. So if you guys thought that this was helpful at all, please let me know. If you guys thought that it wasn't really all that helpful, let me know. I mean, I can totally steer clear of these things if you guys didn't really think that that would help you, but as a guy who plays mostly Gibsons and pretty much all fixed bridge guitars, this Schecter Sun Valley Super Shredder, this is the $649 one, absolutely impressed the hell out of me, and I literally cannot put it down. So I don't have enough good things to say about this. Maybe the fret ends could be fixed. Neck pickup, gotta figure out what's going on there. otherwise, awesome guitar. All right. Thanks, guys. Please like and subscribe if you want to see more stuff like this. I'll have more demos coming soon, like I always say. Thank you for checking this out. Kyle here. We'll see you next time. Later.